All right, I am here today with Sherri Seiber from FranFund. She is our COO, and we are going to have a great conversation today about funding, just in general right now, and really focused on the fitness arena. So if you don't mind, Sherri, I'd love for you to just share a little bit about yourself, your history, and why you are a foremost expert in this field.
Well, thank you so much, Samantha. We appreciate the opportunity here today. Well, FranFund was actually, FranFund stands for franchise funding. As you get into the franchise industry, you will see that Fran part slightly overused. But FranFund was really the pioneer of the idea of putting multiple funding solutions under one roof so that the candidate considering franchise ownership wouldn't have to go to multiple funding sources to try and put together the capitalization strategy that worked best for them. So in addition to doing loan consulting, SBA loan consulting, we also do the rollover for business startup strategy. And one thing we are very proud of is we were voted #1 funding provider for the franchise industry by franchisors. That is a tremendous honor because that's nothing we could do a workaround to get that nomination. That's straight from franchisors. So we're really excited about that. We're headquartered in Fort Worth, Texas, but we have folks across the country. Last year, we funded over 300 different brands and multiple units of many of those brands. And we have ex-bankers, I call them recovering bankers, on our staff for the loan consulting side of it. And we have a full team that do the first level of underwriting for loans in-house. We're really good at it. And we have a very high rate of success for getting lending done when we say we can. In other words, if we provide a pre-approval and say, if these are the conditions, Mr. Candidate, that you come back to us with when it's time to get a loan, then we have confidence we can get a loan for you. So it all works out very well.
I think that's a perfect segue into what we're talking about. There's a lot of concern right now. Obviously, we're in a different environment than we were 3 months ago. And I know that there's concern from candidates. Will I be able to get a loan? I talk to candidates every day about what's the current condition of the SBA. Can you speak to that at all, what you're seeing out there?
So if you listen to the news 24/7, which many people do these days because it's very entertaining, but it sort of has sounded like for the last 8 weeks that the SBA, the U.S. Treasury, and Congress are shoveling free money out the back door. And in some cases it is. The CARES Act, which produced a few different products. One of the ones that many people have heard a lot about were the PPP loans. That was one product, and that has definitely caused lenders to focus on those because they basically did 14 years worth of normal SBA loan volume in 14 days in the first round of funding. It's really incredible. The second part of that is they announced an SBA debt relief product. And what that did was for existing SBA loans, it provided 6 months of payments completely taken care of by the SBA, which is very appealing and very timely for those folks that already had their businesses open and needing some way of continuing to make loan payments while they weren't generating any revenue. But the third extension of that is SBA debt relief for new businesses. But here's the thing that's confusing people. SBA loans still require the same financial strength that they always have. And that's what a lot of people are getting confused about. The PPP loan, you didn't have to prove anything about your credit score, your financial strength, your post-close liquidity, none of that stuff. That is a completely separate product intended to keep America getting paid during a pandemic. But the regular SBA product, which now also has a component offering 6 months of payments, if you get the loan closed prior to September 27th, that's what's causing a little bit of confusion. That loan still requires the financial strength that it has always required. Low debt to income ratios, post-close liquidity, a personal cash injection, a strong credit score, some of the things that the franchise companies require, net worth and liquidity minimums and that kind of thing. And so we are able to still get loans funded right now, but the truth of the matter is it's going a little slower than it usually goes because of the fact that so many lenders are focused on these PPP loans. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't get started, because there's plenty of steps in between saying, hi, yes, I'm ready to pay my franchise fee and get on with the business of franchise ownership. Once you do that, as you well know, and Samantha can elaborate on all the steps needed from her side, but from the lending side, you gotta, if there's a space required, you gotta go find the space, negotiate the lease. If there's any kind of training you need to go to, you need to do that. You need to hire a contractor to build out the space. And there's just many, many things that need to be done. And all those things can be happening in parallel. The banks will come around because they make money by lending money. So I'm not too worried about the fact that there's a little bit of a slowdown. Everybody should keep moving forward. The banks will catch up. You've got FranFund as your facilitator, executor, and general all-over helper. And I think we can all get through this together.
So with you guys at FranFund, just in case anybody watching this doesn't understand exactly how you work, you guys work with a vast amount of banks, and you help franchisees find the best bank to facilitate their loans. Now, during this time, are you guys adding banks, or are you taking banks away, or what's that situation looking like?
That's a great question, Samantha. We have a portfolio of lenders, and there's sort of two angles to this. We keep a portfolio of lenders that cover the various franchise brands that we work with, that like that market segment. Let's say, for example, fitness. Now, fitness is definitely a growing part of the franchise space right now. So for fitness, we are actually expanding our base of lenders to make sure that we can cover the high demand we're seeing for fitness right now. The reason we have a portfolio of lenders across the country, if you're wondering, Mr. Borrower, Mr. or Ms. Borrower that may be watching this, if you go down the street to your local bank and pick one, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever, you're going to walk in the lobby. You're going to see a nice looking young man or woman sitting behind a beautiful mahogany desk. And of course, you'll be 6 feet away right now, but you'll talk to them about the fact that you're considering business ownership and would they be interested in providing you with a loan? And they will nod vigorously that yes, they would. And you'll ask a few other questions, and you'll leave that bank thinking, hey, this is no problem. I'm going to go and get a loan. The fact of the matter is, all they've said is, yes, we do loans, and yes, we will look at your loan. They're trained to sell bank services. So they want your checking account, your savings account, your wealth management account, your stocks, bonds, mutual funds, your first or second kid. They want a lot of stuff. So what FranFund does is, that's why we have a portfolio of lenders. Lenders have different appetites for different deals on different days. And we have to be agile and able to pivot to find the lenders that want the deal that fits you. Depends on where your business is, what your financial strength is, what your background is, what your timing is, and all of those are all the things that FranFund helps with. What we do is, at the end of the day, we put together a fully vetted loan package, which of course the candidate must participate in because it's your package, not our package. But with you, we put the full package together with a bow on it, an executive summary. And what that allows us to do is take that full package, not a piece at a time, which that's a really important point. You take that full package and you shop it to multiple lenders. Now, to be honest, sometimes that comes back and only one lender's interested in that package. Alternatively, sometimes it comes back and you've got 4 lenders competing and offering better rates. You can't depend on either one of those scenarios, but either one means we have gone and obtained an offer for you that you can consider using to fund your business.
I think it's great to know that too. So there are many opportunities for lending out there, even in this environment. And I think what I took from that is, while it may take longer right now, we are definitely in a situation where banks are still lending because that's how banks survive.
Absolutely. We actually, we had a couple of fitness loan closings this week. So they are still, yeah, it is absolutely still happening. And banks are getting PPP fatigue. We have a little PPP fatigue ourselves because we sort of jumped into that pool because we have a few thousand clients that we did a rollover for business startup for the ROBS program. And so we're their third-party administrator, and we wanted to make sure they got the money they needed to keep their business open and operating. So we got involved. So we've been in the middle of all that and are ready to put it behind us and get back to business as usual.
I think we all are, right? And I think that's interesting too, that, you know, the SBA is very commonly, when we look at business ownership, it's really the one form of lending that we all focus on is an SBA loan. But you guys do have alternative situations to the SBA for qualified lenders. Would you mind just speaking a little bit on that?
I'd love to. So there is the rollover for business startup is essentially investing your qualified retirement money into your own business. At the end of the day, what happens is your business, your new 401k plan, owns shares of stock in your new business, and your new business has cash that can be used for any legitimate business expense. So it's just like if you call your wealth advisor and say, hey, go buy Apple stock, and let's say it's $100 for the ease of my math. And so you give Apple $100 and you have some Apple stock. Now you don't know what Apple's doing with that money, but what you hope they're doing is raising shareholder value, because that's why you invested in that stock. This is the exact same thing, only you are investing your retirement funds into your own stock. And so if you plan to get up every day, work your behind off, spend time on the business, follow the franchise process, then your business will grow and so will the value of your stock. So at the end of the day, one day, 10 years in the future, when you decide, okay, I've been very successful in this business, you're gonna sell your business, pay off your shareholders, which if that's your 401k, hopefully you've grown the value of that stock multifold, and that retirement money is there for you to ride off into the sunset. It's actually a brilliant strategy. And if the first thing you're thinking is, there's usually 2 things people are thinking. One, oh my God, I don't want to touch my retirement funds. I've spent my life building that up. Okay, what I'm going to say to that is, if you're not planning on working hard on your business, you should not do that. And you should not do an SBA loan either, because an SBA loan usually requires a personal guarantee, and it requires a pledge of collateral, which is usually your house. So again, if you weren't planning on working very hard, you could lose your house. So, that's trade-off in the retirement fund. And second, you're not cashing out your retirement fund. You're investing it in a prudent investment. And if you consider yourself a prudent investment, then it's going to work out really well. You're not cashing it out. The market has had its issues over the past few weeks, but if this is something you're considering, you can start turning your retirement funds into cash right now, so that when you are ready to roll it over, you've taken maximum advantage of the market fluctuations and hopefully gotten as much as you can out of it.
I think it's so interesting. Just, right now, as I talk to candidates on the phone and as we read, and like you said, consume news probably at a much higher rate than we were 3 months ago. The number one concern is, how do I get access to funds? Because I think a lot of people in this process have identified this is the time. We're hearing from experts. You've got Warren Buffett, you've got Mark Cuban, you've all these people that say, if you have the money to invest in a business, this is the time to start doing some of those things. But I think the fear is access to funds, to help assist people's liquidity. So I think it is very, very interesting that we have so many different avenues that we can take, through FranFund and through lenders and all the things that you guys provide. I know I'm leaving this conversation feeling a lot better about stuff.
I think you should, because, and for those folks out there considering business ownership, this is a time where you have a tremendous opportunity. We are seeing pent-up demand everywhere, and people that perhaps were furloughed during this time, or maybe they weren't furloughed and they've seen how the leadership of their own big company has handled and thought to themselves, gosh, if I owned this company, I would do things differently. There are a lot of franchise opportunities for you to consider right now. And the interest rates for SBA loans are probably lower than they've ever been. It's prime plus 2 3/4, which is under 6% right now. Unbelievable. Cash is king though, so make sure you consider that. Have somebody like FranFund, and we'd love to be the ones that have that opportunity. Take a look at your ability to get pre-approved so that you can do your franchise investigation with confidence. And that's a service we offer at no charge to you. You have a conversation with one of our funding consultants. You talk about your specific financial situation. Together, you talk about some recommendations we might have about the best way you go about getting funded. And at the end of the day, of course, it's your own decision whether you'd like for us to work with you or not. But at least you'll know where you stand and whether you should be able to move forward with confidence.
And I think those pre-approvals are so powerful. I mean, we see that all the time, just really in helping people make business decisions, the number of units that they feel comfortable with. It's absolutely, and those pre-approvals are free. You guys can usually, even in this environment, get them turned around in about 48 hours.
We are.
I'm sorry, my personal assistant. I'm here assisting my kindergartner as he attempts to get on. I can't hear. There you go. Oh. As he attempts to get on his Zoom meetings. So he's also very busy. So my job is working in franchising, and then also making sure I'm a personal assistant to a 6-year-old who is attending Zoom meetings 3 times a day as well.
I think we've all learned during this time that everybody's actually human, and I love it. I really love it.
I will say, me too. I enjoy seeing dogs and kids and homes and all of those things. And my husband will tell you I bought the ugliest painting during this time. I was like, I need a better painting behind me. And then I made the mistake of tossing the other one, and I was like, this didn't work out. So I'm waiting patiently for my next one to come in. Well, thank you so much, Sherri. Is there anything else that you want to share, or anything else just from the funding climate right now that you want to share with anybody?
I'll just say that I recommend that you have a conversation with I hope it's FranFund, with somebody about your financial situation so that you can go and do, like I said earlier, your franchise investigation with confidence. We can give you that confidence, and maybe that we also give you a little warning about what you might run into, because frankly not everybody is qualified to go forth and own a business, and so having that confidence to have a conversation with Samantha and her team give you a really good feeling. We are having those conversations every day, all day. I have a brilliant staff who are really experts at this, and they're also really good people. You might hear a dog or two barking in the background with them, and hopefully everybody thinks that's okay. We're really excited to kind of get back to normal course of business. But thank you, Samantha, so much today for this opportunity to kind of ease the concerns people are having about funding world and keep moving forward.
I think that's the theme. Keep moving forward, take advantage of it. If you've always wanted to be a business owner, there's no better time. And I think just knowing that there are lenders, qualified lenders for qualified buyers out there, it makes the process seem much more attainable. So I really appreciate, Sherri, you sharing all of that information. And I look forward to talking to you soon about all of this stuff. And I think we'll have much more positive information as we move through the rest of summer.
Totally agree. Thanks, Samantha.
Thank you.